This phenomenon with Tiger Woods turned down Live Golf, $700 million to an $800 million offer. This is the biggest offer they made to anybody. This was in an attempt to lure the 15-time major winner away from the PGA Tour, according to Live Golf CEO Greg Norman. The number has been out there. Yes, Norman said. Tiger is a needle mover. So, of course, you got to look at the best of the best. They originally approached Tiger before I became CEO. So, yes, that number is somewhere in that neighborhood. The Saudi Arabia-backed golf league has grown notorious for offering audacious sums of money to pry golfers from PGA Tour, with Woods' offer being the most lucrative total known to date. So what do you think about, why this has become so controversial? Oh my God, I cannot believe you're going to go and take money from, Saudi Arabia. Why would you do that? Do you realize what they do over there? What are your thoughts on this?
This is my very first time hearing anything about this, and I'm not even familiar with Live Golf. What exactly is Live Golf?
Oh, you have no clue about this.
This is totally new.
Really?
I'm totally new.
Yeah. So do you want to kind of tell them what's going on with Live Golf?
Yeah, not that I'm a huge golf guy, but basically they started a competitive league or championship series to basically the PGA.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, and now they're basically, let's see who can be bought. Well, Phil Mickelson can be bought. That guy's had a lot of problems. Boom, let's buy that guy. He's a big name. Boom, here's a couple $100 million. Good for you.
Koepka.
Good. And then there's names after names.
Bubba
I know
Watson.
you're a big golf guy. Exactly.
Okay.
Who can be bought? Who can be bought away from the PGA? The way that I'm processing this is like, what China has done in the NBA, why, LeBron takes a lot of heat and a lot of the NBA players, why they don't speak about what's going on in China and the totalitarian state that's going on there, and the Uyghurs that are forced to do whatever are allegedly they have to do.
There's a whole lot of TV money.
Exactly.
China.
So,
Sure.
So basically I think Saudi Arabia sort of took the blueprint of what the China has done with the NBA and said, all right, let's do a little golf league here, and let's see how many players we can purchase.
So Live Golf, it's a Saudi company?
It's a Saudi company.
Okay.
Exactly. And, players are for hire.
Interesting.
And Tiger Woods, they said, all right, he's the biggest name in golf. How much is it going to cost to buy Tiger? And allegedly that number is going to be more than $800 million because he said no to that.
Interesting.
So when they throw a B on there, is Tiger going to say yes? Is he going to say no? We'll see what happens. But and Greg Norman, the Shark, right? I think he's the director of operations. What is he? The president?
They made him CEO a few
CEO?
months ago. Yeah.
Okay, so remains to be seen. And then obviously there was a lot of backlash last week at Trump's golf course because they hosted, I think, a big live event, and you had a lot of 9/11 descendants, right? Advocates, basically saying, all right. I mean, some stuff was declassified recently about Saudi Arabia and basically their role in 9/11. And it wasn't pretty for Saudi Arabia. And then you can throw on top of that the whole Jamal Khashoggi thing, blood on the hands. How much does it cost for you to be bought? I think is the big question here. That's right. So, I mean,
Tom,
you're
follow
a golf guy. What's going on?
Yeah, what do you think is going on here with Live Golf and Tiger?
So there's a couple things that are going on. First of all, the PGA Tour has always been heavy-handed. Whenever you have a monopoly, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, or Major League Baseball, you always have these conflicts between players. And the players' associations, they always unionize versus the so you have the owners and the stadiums on this hand, and then we have the players' associations on this hand. And the TV money goes over here, and then they give them contracts to play. Well, it's that way in golf, too. And the interesting thing about it is the PGA Tour has been kind of heavy-handed, and they've been inconsistent on things. Dustin Johnson was a very, very popular golfer who flunked 3 drug tests, we now know, for using coke, and instead, they said he's taking a 6-month leave of absence because he hurt his back jet skiing. And everybody in the tour was like, what sort of BS is this? Why can't we just come out and say he failed the drug test? Any drugs are performance-enhancing drugs. We don't want them in our sport, including, recreational abuse drugs. So there's always been this thing with the PGA, similar to the way the NBA sometimes, or NFL will suspend this player, not that player, when things happen. And so it opened the door for a competitive series. And they had big Saudi money behind them and says, tell you what, there's no monopoly. PGA Tour players get to play in the British Open, the Open. You know, you don't have to be a member of the tour. You're invited to the Open. You're invited to the U.S. Open. You're invited to the Masters. Those are not PGA Tour events. They're all independent, the majors, except the PGA. And so finally the pot boils over, and they're like, well, what if we got a bunch of money and started a competing global league? And what if we paid people to come into the league so we could prime the pump and get some people, you know, here? And that's what's happened.
Big names, right?
And it happens to be, it comes with Saudi Arabia and the underlying social things that people know about. But that's what's happened. They've tried to compete a competitive league, and they've paid some big appearance fees. By the way, appearance fees have been around in tennis forever.
Right.
The Joker gets $3.5 million to appear at certain tournaments that are not mainstream. So
here's what Tiger said. Let me just read what Tiger said. Okay, so in other words, like to really compare, Paul just said something very interesting. He says, "Live golf is like the Jake Paul of the golf world." Okay, so they're kind of cutting the big checks, is what they're doing.
Okay,
and here's a comment from Tiger Woods. I'll just read it. He said at 2022 US Open Championships, he was asked about joining Live. He said, "I disagree with it. I think that they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position. I know that the PGA Tour stands for. I know what the PGA Tour stands for and what we have done and what the Tour has given us, the ability to chase after our careers and to earn what we get and the trophies we have been able to play for and the history that has been part of this game." This is his comments when he turned down $700 or $800 million. Tom, when you hear that, knowing Tiger, what do you think about Tiger saying something like that?
Well, I think Tiger's had his own set of headlines for which he could have been suspended in many sports, unfortunately. And Tiger is just saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you. We don't need change. That's all he's saying. That's all he's saying. You know, he's
also worth $1 billion, so it's easy if you're worth $1 billion to kind of turn down however many $100 million.
And that is Bubba Watson's point.
Right.
And
so
guys,
if you're only worth a couple $1 million and you've been working your ass off your whole life, and you're 48 years old, whatever your number is,
or you're 35 years old and you're number 25 in the world, you've gotten up there to that level, and they're going to offer you a walk across appearance fee of $20 million to be part of the tour. You look at it and you say, wow.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.